In the early morning darkness, a lone figure stands at the base of Mount Kenya, ready to embark on a daunting challenge that will test not only his physical strength, but also his commitment to a cause greater than himself. Meet Patrick Kuria, an accountant come mountain hiker with a passion for nature conservation.
Every morning, you're either doing normal morning jogging, probably 5 to 10 kilometers, and maybe that also keeps you in good shape health-wise and of course building your muscles.
Patrick started hiking in 1998 before he transitioned from conquering smaller peaks to high-end mountains in 2012. Over the years, his hobby evolved into something more significant, a mission to make a positive impact on our environment. It takes a normal person between 4 and 6 days to go up and down the second highest peak in Africa, standing at 5,199 meters. This allows for the body to adjust to the changes, and with that, only 50 people a year make it to the summit. Today, Patrick stands at the base of the same mountain, aiming to scale the Lenana summit in an astonishing 10 hours.
I expect to start about maybe in the next 45 minutes at 5, so that maybe if I start at 5, I'll be expected to be back where I say I'll be starting at almost maybe by 3 p.m. So that will be in a span of 10 hours. So going up, of course, will take me a little bit longer time. It might take about 6 to 7 hours, and coming down maybe probably 3 to 4 hours. So I think that's the time span and that's the target I have at the moment.
He is not alone in this quest. He is accompanied by a select group of pace setters who will guide him through the treacherous early sections of the climb. The individuals play a crucial role in ensuring Patrick's safety. It's 4 a.m. and the air is crisp as Patrick takes his first steps towards the summit.
For such a mountain, I think to me it's more of a lifestyle. And for you to be able to compress a mountain that you do in 4 days into just 10 hours, it requires a lot of preparation. And these preparations are aimed at giving you, one, the muscle strength, second, what I call attitude preparedness. So for muscle strength, we have a lot of areas you can do your hikes, and these hikes are actually even much tougher than doing Mount Kenya. In Aberdares, we have very many areas. We have the Elephant Hill, we have the Seven Ports, we have the Table Mountains. Those, especially those three, are normally aimed at giving you physical preparation in terms of building your muscle strength. Then we have the altitude training. Altitude training, you need to do high end or high altitude. So again, in Aberdares, we have the highest peak in Aberdares called Satima, which is about 4,001 meters above sea level. So that's a very good training ground for you to do Mount Kenya. So what we normally do before you come to Mount Kenya, 2 weeks prior to that, we always do Satima. I have also managed to do between maybe July to now, every month we used to do a minimum of 2 hikes, and a month ago I also attempted Kilimanjaro in what I used to call a 24 hours challenge as well, and of course it was a bit tough, but I actually managed it in about 21 hours.
With its rugged glacier-clad summits and forested middle slopes, this mountain is one of the most impressive landscapes in East Africa. The park hosts approximately 20 lakes and tanns. The mountain is also a conservation area that sits on 2,800 square kilometers. It is home to wildlife including bushbucks, elands, bongos, and the giant forest hog, among others. It is also home to over 130 bird species and at least 11 species of endemic plants.
Number one, the beauty of the mountain on your way up and on your way down. It's breathtaking. Number two, we have many trees here, but again, not enough. We need as many as possible, and the reason why I'm here personally, I love nature. I would want to see a country where we have as many trees as possible so that myself, my friends, my family, and future generations can live in a country where they can breathe fresh air, drink clean water, and have a good environment around them.
Patrick is now left to battle exhaustion and the unforgiving conditions of Mount Kenya. Each step Patrick takes up the mountain is a reminder of the fragility of our environment. As the clock ticks away, Patrick's cheerleaders, mostly colleagues at work, and his pace setters gladly receive the seemingly exhausted Patrick. Although he falls short of his ambitious 10-hour goal, he descends after 12 hours, setting a personal record and way higher for any ordinary human.
Peak was full of snow, and actually it was a bit dangerous to get to the peak. So what we did is we tried to move at a very slow pace.
Patrick's journey up Mount Kenya may not have gone as planned, but the impact of his endeavor reverberates far beyond the mountain peaks.
I have not managed to achieve the under 10 hours, but because of the way the mountain is today. I think today the mountain is a bit challenging. As you can see, the weather, it's a bit misty. I think yesterday it snowed the whole night, and maybe on your way up, especially when you're doing the summit, there was a lot of ice. And when the sun was just up a little bit, the ice started melting. So it was a bit tough to actually try and do it in the under 10 hours. But all the same, I think I've managed about 12 hours, which is not a bad thing given the situation of the weather today. And of course the terrain was a bit tough.
His passion for nature conservation continues to inspire, reminding us all that every step towards a greener future is a step in the right direction.
We need to avert the climate change, the climate disasters we have been having over the years. And if every Kenyan just plants 10 trees in a year, you can imagine the impact that we'll have in a number of years to come. So I think through this hike, it's a sensitization hike and creating awareness on the need to do tree planting. I think maybe the president has a very ambitious plan and is talking about 28% forest cover by the year 2030. So we are hardly left with about 7 years, all 6 years. So for us to achieve that, we need to take personal responsibility, all of us, yes, and complement the government efforts.
For Voice of Nature, I'm David Kagina.